getting into acting, this person could be a good model if third house is really good. We also look at short journeys, and because it is 12th from fourth is your native, where you live. So it means that you are going away from your native. So when we check, sometimes when we check uh, foreign travel or foreign settlement, if fourth house is afflicted and if there's a connection with the third house, it's showing that okay, person will go away from the from native place. Now, how far, that we need to check 3, 9, and 12. 9 is long distance journey, 12 is foreign settlement, because you are leaving yourself ascendant and going somewhere else. Evaluate whether that person will come back or not. We need to check both the ascendants, the original one and the new one, which came because you moved somewhere else. Even your mobile communication, if your third house is afflicted, and your communication will get cut. If you're working in office, nowadays people are doing work from home. You go and check the chart. If the third house is afflicted, there is affliction with the Mercury. Whenever they are in call, something will happen most of the time, and they need to reconnect. That also happens when Mercury goes retrograde in transit. नमस्कार दोस्तों, वेलकम टू वीनस एस्ट्रो. वीनस एस्ट्रो में आपका स्वागत है. Today's video is going to be related to the third house, because we had just started from Lagna, then we went to second house, and this is intro of the third house. I'm not talking about third lord, third house. This is really interesting because third house is the house of creation. We need to understand with respect to ascendant. That is really important because ascendant is you. And if you look at a third house, the Kal Purush chart I'm talking about, the default chart, one is the ascendant, and third house I'm talking about, which goes to Gemini. So Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, I'm talking about the Gemini third house. And please don't consider the Gemini, just consider the third house. Third house is third from first, but first house is 11th from third. So keeping that in mind, let's understand third house. In Kalpurus, it goes to Gemini, Lord is Mercury. When we talk about the Bhav Karak, Mars is the Karak for that house. And if I talk about the nakshatra, because I don't want to get into the nakshatra thing today, we can have separate videos related to nakshatras. So start with Mrikshira, Adra, and Punarvasu, 2, 4, and 3 padas. And obviously, this also signifies many things, because I always say this, that nakshatra is all about the way you accept things, what you feel. That is related with nakshatra, and also it impacts the work that you do. How do you perform? Because you're feeling, the way you accept things, in reversal you give in the same way. So this is like the Lord and the Karak and then the nakshatra. But what is third house? Third house, from relationship standpoint, it is your younger sibling, father-in-law. Then if you take your mother-in-law, that's a maternal place for mother-in-law. From body part standpoint, if we need to understand, or if we should understand this, so start from this area. This is the throat area. This belongs to third house. Then you go to this area, lungs area, that is also third house, shoulders, arms. And why I'm talking about arms and fingers, in many of the Prashna Marga and many of the Prashna books, you can see they have talked about, even Parashara has talked about the arm, because this is related with the Upchaya Bhava. We call it Upchaya, that is 3, 6, 10, 11. I'll be talking about that. But these are the parts comes under third house. And you can see that Mercury is communication. So communication is also related to third house. Mars is courage. So related to, when we say Mars is courage, so courage is related, communication. I'll be coming on these things. But more important is, I was talking about the body parts. So we need to understand the kind of diseases that one can face. That is also important. So when I say throat, any throat infection, cough infection, cough related throat, cough related issues, or lung infection, that is also, when you go to gym and sometimes you get strained shoulders and all, you can see that third house has some impact. You can see that people suffering from asthma, that is also under third house. There is some affliction. If it is respiratory system related things, then also third house is afflicted. And third house has very significant role in your when it comes to diseases and death, because it's eighth from eighth bhavat bhava. So this is really important, and I'll be discussing forward. But to understand any house, this is very important that you focus on the house lord karaka. This is how you look at everything: house lord karaka. Then you look at the dasha which is going on, the transit, and that particular day, or if you're looking for month or year. And then you go to different vargas. D9 for relationship, D9 for your bhagya, D10 for your karma that you go for. And then you go for D7 for children, progeny. You go for D12 to check your parent about the parents. And similarly, D24 education, D30, D60. You go through all these different vargas, and that's where you are able to predict accurately. So coming back to the uh, third house is also about communication. And when I say communication, you look at around people, those who are earning through communication. So people, those who are in advertising. Now, not necessarily advertising means somebody who is playing the role. If somebody is playing as an actor role, that also comes under third house. But somebody who is associated with in creation of the advertisement, for example, that is also third house. I'm talking to you guys. This is also third house. This communication. Obviously, there is a relation with the 11th house. And even if you look at the arms, we distribute it like the left arm versus right arm. So there is again distribution third versus 11. Uh, Apart from that, because in Kalpurush, it belongs to Mercury. So analysis, because Mercury is about analysis. So analysis also comes under third house. Uh, and how you can also understand analytics and getting into deeper things is your eighth house, from where I'm saying eight to eight, that's Bhavat Bhavam. So eighth house is, we say a research house, we say get dark house, getting into the deeper things. And that's where if you relate, you'll get to know the third house is also related with all these things. Even your in-laws, you can see from the third house, because eight to eight. Uh, because Mercury is there. So acting, mimicry, your somehow your friend circle, I'll not say, but neighbors, yes, no doubt about it. When we say communication, whether it is laptop or radio, somebody is working as a radio jockey, you can check that. Third house, there will be connection. From second, it is second. Second is your face. You look at, okay, face, not everything, but yeah, comes under face. So if third house is really good, not afflicted, and because it also belongs to shoulders and all, this person can pursue acting career. If Mercury is associated, Saturn is associated. I'll talk about Saturn in a while. Apart from getting into acting, this person could be a good model. If third house is really good, that also comes under modeling. Uh, this also shows, and let me explain why Saturn is important. If you look at the first house, uh, and I'm so obsessed with the first house, because when I read Parashar again and again, and other rishis, it's all about ascendant being strong, making sure you get the fruits of all the houses. Otherwise, you won't be able to. And that is the reason, just to explain, you look at second house, from there, first house is 12th. You are running behind accumulating the wealth. And from second, it is 12th, loss of second. So you are going to lose, because that is also your Marka house. So you are basically losing the enjoyment, the fruit of it. You are not able to enjoy. That's loss for you. You are investing your energy, your body, whatever it is. Someone else's. There is a saying that, okay, the old person will earn and then the younger generation will enjoy. That's the reality. Coming back to the third house, I was talking about some other things that is related to those things which are related to third house. We also look at short journeys. And because it is 12th from 4th, 4th is your native, where you live. So it means that you are going away from your native. So when we check, sometimes when we check uh, foreign travel or foreign settlement, if fourth house is afflicted and if there's a connection with the third house, it's showing that okay, person will go away from the from house, from native place. Now, how far, that we need to check 3, 9, and 12. 9 is long distance journey, 12 is foreign settlement, because you are leaving yourself ascendant and going somewhere else. You are moving from there. And once you move, your chart will change. You need to understand this. If you are at native, that's a different story. Because if you are at native, the 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3, and fourth house is fourth house. For example, I am from Bihar, Patna, Bihar. From Bihar, I came to Bangalore. That changed. And you can see that now, because I traveled all the way, long distance travel, and from there I came to 9. And from 9 become the ascendant. And then from there, you have to see fourth house, because I have changed the place. I went to Berlin, currently residing in Berlin. So my fourth house will become, the 12th house will become the fourth house for me. So ascendant has changed. For that period, when you live outside your native place, far away, if it is connected with 12th house, if you're going foreign, you need to change your ascendant. That's for sure. And that is the reason when we evaluate whether that person will come back or not, we need to check both the ascendants, the original one and the new one, which came because you moved somewhere else. So this is important. When we say Mars, Mars is courage, and courage is also related to mistakes. And that comes under Upchaya. Upchaya, when we say it will take you to the higher level in Brahma Yoga, Maharishi Parashara explained, if somebody has Lord of 3, 6, 10, 11 sitting in those houses, which they own, this person can create anything. But the problem with the third house, you more and more you experiment, because this is also house of experiment, house of adventure. You try something new. So you make more mistakes. And that is the reason 3, 6, and 11, this is Trishadaya. If you read Parashar Muni, we always say, okay, this is really good, 11 is really good, we are gaining and all. He has not considered 11 good, third good. Wherever there are chances of making mistakes, because for him, good and bad was whether you are progressing towards moksha or not. But in this world, because we are karmic people, we are doing, we are living, we are earning, we are running our show, our families. That third house is really important because you do something new. Now, planets will behave differently going to the third house. And very simple rule. If I take Aries, for example, the Kalpurush, and then from there, we need to see all the planets that, okay, third house is Gemini. Obviously, Mercury, good, no problem. Mercury, communication, all this radio, computer, laptop, YouTube, Facebook, and all those things. Rahu is good friend of Mercury. He's also happy. He will make sure that when you are associated, Rahu is associated with third house, you do some experiment, new things, startup world and all, and you make money, even through advertising, because Rahu is smoke, and advertising is nothing but creating the Maya around, so that you start feeling that, okay, this is the really good product. For example, I'm talking about in general TV advertisement or any other form of advertisement, even YouTube and all. So Rahu is good. Uh, Rahu is not good when it comes to siblings, because he is very manipulative, diplomatic. So if Rahu is their third house, there could be challenges with the relationship with the younger sibling. That's for sure. Unless it's in good condition. And when I say This will happen sure or not sure. Two things. One, if I say, okay, something bad will happen or this is not sure, it means there is a malefic influence. And when I say, okay, this will happen for sure, it means the planet, house lord, everything is perfectly all right. There is no malefic. And when I say no malefic, again, let's add one malefic. One malefic anybody can deal with. More than one, obviously, we need to think of. More than two, we need to do the remedies. There are a lot of things around remedies that I'll create a separate video for that. So, yeah, coming back to the planets. You see, Moon and Venus. If Moon and Venus, they are in third house. So this person will have more a younger sibling, like female younger sisters. Then if Sun is there, see when we say Sun is a fiery planet. Soul is nothing to do much with the relationship, and that's the reason when Sun sits in third house, this person will have very few, like one, like sibling, one or two, not more than that. And when I say one or two, because I'm referring to Parashara, and those days like 5, 6, 7, even one people are happy with. So you have to consider that Desh Kal Patra, where we live in, which world we are in, which yoga we are in, what's our desire, all those things. So, and then let's take Saturn. I was saying if Saturn is there in the third house, that is one of the best placement. And best placement from work standpoint or the gain standpoint, all the malefics, Saturn, Mars, Rahu, they they perform really beautifully sitting in third house. Saturn, why? Because if you look at seventh house where Saturn is getting exalted from there, that is the ninth house. Let's relate this. Seventh, Saturn is getting exalted. And then from there, all the way to ninth house where he's sitting and trying to the seventh house. What is seventh house? Seventh house is, first is you, seventh is world apart from you. Seventh house owned by, I'm talking about Kalpurush, Venus. That is the place of entertainment. This is sunrise, first house. Seventh house, sunset. You work whole day, then you go for the enjoyment. Now you think like this, a planet like Saturn sitting in the seventh house, getting exalted, is not very happy, the first house. It means Saturn enjoys working hard, partying even harder. Now, if this Saturn is associated with the third house, which is house of acting, modeling, and other stuff, advertising and all, you can pursue the career if there is a connection. This is how you have to relate. And there is a reason for everything why planets, they get exalted in certain house, that get debilitated in certain house. If you look at from different houses, because this is third house for you, whatever that you are doing, whether you are doing business, advertising, communication, whatsoever, it is impacting you. You are gaining from that. You are also making a lot of mistakes and trying to leaven. So that karma you are accumulating, and Rahu is taking care of that so that you can come back again to this world. And you if you look at 3 and 6, I talked about Trishiraya, owned by Mercury. It means things which are coming from Prarabdha. It's related with third and sixth. And we say Mercury, apart from uncle and aunts, the friendship mostly, that comes from your Prarabdha. You would have seen somebody came to your life, become friend, gone after some time. You wanted to get married. That didn't happen. Why? Ask yourself. So I always say this, the 12th house is the entry point for the partner. Let's suppose take the relationship, marriage and all. And if you look at Venus, Venus is getting exalted there. Venus 2 and 7. From 2, if you count, that is the 11th. So for second house, house of sustenance, house which represent longevity of the relationship, that is the gain house is 12th house. Until and unless you gain from there, what will you sustain? How will you calculate the longevity? And from 7th, that's the most important house. And that's where I'll explain why Venus gets exalted in Pisces. From 7th, house of marriage, and going to 12th, what does it mean? Showing that the relationship that you will get in your life, that is simply coming from your prarabdha. 6th house is prarabdha from any house for that particular house. Venus is going and happy because Venus is making sure that you get the partner from your past life, prarabdha. Because you have to do the karma, you have to perform the karma, cancel the karma and move on. And that's the reason exalted in 12th. If you think you can choose your partner, I'll not take the name. A nice person asked me, can I do the remedies to change the partner? Yes, you can do that for the time being, but you can't change the partner. You know, all these mantras, black magic and all that, you can perform. You can attract people. You start saying, I'll not chant the mantra because people will start doing that. You can attract people, but that attraction will not live long for more than a year. That I have learned from my guru. One circle of sun, done. Maya over. So when I say 7th and Saturn, this is how you need to connect. From 2nd, it is second. Second house, moon. Second house, Jupiter. Second house, Venus. All 3 planets are related. Own house, exaltation place, Karka. From there is its second. Moon sitting in the 3rd house will ensure you are good at communication. You are an emotional person, no problem. When you communicate, you will communicate emotionally. You will not be very courageous. That's for sure. Moon in 3rd house, afflicted, you are not courageous. Not afflicted, well and good. Venus 3rd house, wow. You will attract people like anything. Enjoy your life. If you want people to come in your life in terms of getting attracted, that's a good placement. Jupiter is not good for you because that is the Maran Karak Sthan for Jupiter, 3rd house. And that is for you, ascendant. There is a reason for that. If you look at from 3rd, there is opposite house, that is 9th house. 9th house is a house of Dharma. A priest, Jupiter, he is interested in Dharma. He is not interested in coming and creating something new, showing the courage. But that is just for you, that's just for Lagna. But if you rotate the chart, because 3rd house is your sibling, younger sibling. So when you rotate the chart, that becomes the 1st house. And Jupiter sitting there is really good for your siblings, younger sibling. And when I say siblings, my mistake, let me call it sibling, 1st sibling, younger sibling, who is younger than you. Because if you have to look at the 2nd sibling, younger than you, go to the 5th house, 3rd from 3rd. Then from there, 7th, 9th, 11th. Similarly, for the elder one, go to 11. From there, again, you count 11, 9. Again, you count. So that will come 7. This is how you have to rotate the chart. So that is really good placement for the younger sibling. Now, going forward, we also in our classes, we teach how you can just look at the conjunctions, 2 planets together. What is Mars, what is Mercury, what is Ketu, and then you combine these things, blend it, and tell the result. This is I'm talking about 1 planet, 1 house. And also trying to explain when you are looking at the chart, how to look at the chart. Even your mobile communication, if your third house is afflicted, uh, and your communication will get cut. If you're working in an office, nowadays people are doing work from home. You go and check the chart. If the third house is afflicted, there is an affliction with the mercury. Whenever they are in call, something will happen most of the time, and they need to reconnect. That also happens when mercury goes retrograde in transit. But that's a separate topic, transit, because I don't prefer looking transit directly from just from Lagna chart D1. I prefer combining D1 and D9, D1 and D10, like this, D1 and D7. But this is about third house. If you look at third is 12th from fourth. As I said, going away from fourth, good, no problem. You can go away. But this is not good for your mother, because that's a house of hospitalization. Your this shows that, okay, if afflicted, dasha is there, transit activated through BCP or BSP, even Bhrigu Chakra Padati, let's suppose this is third house, 27 years, 39 years. Just keep on adding 12, 12, 12. Through BSP, Bhrigu Saral Padati, if it gets activated, that could be challenging for your mother. Now, two things. One is the expenses, and second is the hospitalization. Now, that there is a way to evaluate. Not necessarily 12th is activated, you will go to hospital. You might go to visit someone. Now, with the food basket, now it's up to the chart whether you are going with the fruit basket or you are sitting, you are lying there, but someone else is coming. That you can see. If you look at from the fifth house, intro, I'm just giving the intro. From fifth house, this is the 11th house, gain for your first child. Somebody in the mantra practice, third house is good. You're doing the mantra practice. That's really, really helpful. You'll be able to grasp things very quickly. Fifth house is also Pura Punya. And gain of that is in third house. If third house is afflicted, and somebody is saying, oh, you have something from your Purva Janma as a Pura Punya, believe me, you are not going to get fruit, at least in this life. Let the planet move forward, next life, and we'll see that chart again. Whoever will be there. Similarly, your grandfather, house of gain for the grandfather, depending on whether it is afflicted or not afflicted. If, let's suppose, Jupiter is there, Maran Karak Sthanam, then you need to take care of your children. I'll say one is income and also health. Not necessarily from here, but there is an indication because Karakov Sun, Jupiter is there in Maran Karakastana. Now from here, you can see, if you want to see that particularly, that, okay, child health and all those things, then you need to go from here to 8th. That is 12th house. So each houses are related to each other. If you look at from 6th, this is 10th house. So this is maternal, this is your prarabdha, and from there, performing the task. But interesting thing is that if you're 3 and 6 connected, not afflicted, I'm telling you, anything related to communication you do, anything related to engineering, if Mars is good, Ketu is good, Mercury is good, go ahead and do that. You are going to enjoy the fruits. Third house is also important for your spouse. 9th from there, Bhagya. Third house will decide what he or she is bringing as part of Bhagya in your life. Now you see, if you are courageous, if you are good at communication, It means that, and from childhood, you can observe, even your own child. If third house is not afflicted and all these things are showing that, okay, good at communication, courageous, beautiful, whatsoever I talked about, it shows that spouse will come with a lot of bhagyas, which your son or daughter is going to enjoy. And both are related. You can look at even at the age of 14 and analyze what kind of spouse that one is going to get. Eighth, I'm leaving for now. This is really important to explain. I'll go to the ninth one. I always say that when you are looking at a house, please look at house opposite to it. Ninth is dharma, and when we say dharma, I'm not relating to any religion. Dharma is the right way of performing your duty, task or duties. And if you look at from that, it's a seventh house. It means while doing the experiment, you are not going to follow the rules. And that is the reason it comes under Trishara. You will become greedy like anything. Let me do more. Let me do more experiment. Let me try this. Let me try that. Because you are courageous. Because you are good at communication. From 11th, it's in trine. Rahu has that impact. In Kalpurush, that you are diplomatic, you are manipulative. So this is against of dharma. And that's where you are not able to follow the dharma. If malefics influence third house. If you go to the 10th house, third house is afflicted, you will not be able to perform your work. Why? From 10th, you make it lagna, that becomes 6th house, prarabdha. If prarabdha house shows that it is afflicted, then you won't be able to perform tasks properly with respect to the 10th house. Until and unless the planets which are really good in 3, 6, 11, so I'm talking about the 6th house. Rahu, going to that house, being the lord of 10th, enjoy. I know people will talk about this is the house, that is the house, Cancer, there will be disturbance, you won't be able to sleep properly. All those things will be there, but you'll travel to from foreign land. 4, 8, 12, watery, connected with the foreign land. Rahu is Karka of foreign. From its own house, move to the 6th house. Gives really good result, because from 6th, look at 12th. So that is one of the best placement. Look at Saturn. Again, people will say, because moon is not there, but still that's a Vishyo. Because from 11th, going to that house is a Vishyo. But that's not the reality. Because every yoga has something good or bad. And there is a disposter theory that we can talk about when that yoga will give good result, or whether it will give good result, whether it will give bad result or not. All those things. Even if Makar Rashi, Capricorn, if you look at, from there, it's Gemini. Again, both has a good relationship. And that's the reason Saturn, third house, good placement from its own sign, 6th house, lovely placement, going to foreign, taking a lot of new initiatives in entertainment industry, make good amount of money. There will be challenges around relationship, no doubt about it. And you can infer this. I always say there are separative planets that we need to identify. And when we say separative planets, Saturn sitting there, separating from your motherland, obviously separating from your mother also, separating from your co-born also. Same with Rahu. Now, if we go to the 11th house, that's a trine connection. Beautiful. 11th, third, communication, social circle. If you have good connection without affliction between third and 11, go and start your business online, YouTube, Facebook, whatsoever. You'll make a lot of money. Your friends will support. Combinations are there. This is in general. But it will have positive impact. Rahu, Mercury, Venus, these planets are connected with 3, 11. If you go to the 12th house, this is really important to understand. Third and 12th. I said from 4th, third is 12th, leaving your native place. 12th is from you moving away. These are connected. Wanted to go out? Please go out. Now, short journey is there. 12th house Pisces, places of temple and all that. All that is there, no doubt. You'll go to a temple to visit a pilgrimage and all that. You can see that. When you see, I don't talk much about all these things, going to pilgrimage and all, because if I get to know that tomorrow I'll go to Vaishno Devi, how it is going to impact my life? Or next month, my chart shows that I'll go to Sikal Bhairav, Mahakal, Ujjain. How it is going to impact my life? I don't think so. For me, astrology is all about knowing things which is impacting negatively or positively, and then see if things are positive, can I push little further through some means of remedies and all that, if I am interested in. If I'm going down, can I pull up through remedies to make sure that it should not hurt the way it was designed earlier as per the chart? That is the purpose of astrology. People says that, okay, it's just event. You can't do anything. If just event, don't get into astrology. If you look at from first house, already I have explained. From third it is 11th again. So both are really good. 1-3 connection. If there is a relationship, you, communication, consultation, advertising, courage, co-born, all these things are good. Until unless planets, those who are associated, they don't go well together. But even then, not all the factors will get impacted. Second house, because from second it is second I talked about, you're lucky. Most probably you'll be beautiful, attracting people. Let me talk about the 8th house, which I left. 8th house is a house of longevity, and from there, if you count, it is 8th house. This is the house that you need to take care of. Whenever in transit, dasha, it activates, it impacts your longevity. When I say impact, that you need to first do the analysis of the chart, whether this person has the long life, medium life, short life. And there is all those combinations are given in the books that you can calculate. But if you want to know how that person will die, where that person will die, you can check third house from Aruda Lagna. Now, just to tell you what is Aruda, Aruda is the reflection of the self. So if you take the Lagna, for example, and see, I'm talking about the first house, look at where is ascendant. And from there, again, you count same number of houses, for example, first to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, you pick that point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that will go to 9th house, that become your Aruda Lagna. You want to see how you're going to die? What will happen to you? From 9th, look at the third house, 11th. That will give you the clue. And exactly the environment. When you'll be dying, will be the last, taking the last breath, whether you'll be sitting in front of the garden, lying down in front of the garden, or looking the garden from the window, or you'll be in hospital, or it's going to be road accident and all that. That is 8th house. 8th from 8th, third house. Third house is also house of suddenness. And that is the reason those who have the very prominent third house, good planet sitting there or bad planets, either way, whatever they do it very quickly, very, very quickly. So this is overall intro of the third house. And then based on this, we'll also look at what happens when lord goes to fourth, fifth, and then we'll come back. We'll go from third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and till second house in next video. If you have liked this video, you think that the content which was provided helpful to you, please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to the maximum audience. Subscribe, because we are going to come up with a lot of interesting videos and technique that we are going to open for the world. And it's not only from Parashara, only from Gemini, only from Nadi. No, I don't believe. You can look at the books. All the books are there. Gemini, Parashari, Nadi, Devkerlam. Idea here is that you check an event from through one technique, then you validate it through second and third, and then you predict. Also, tomorrow we'll be going live with the, not live, but we'll be uploading third part of Rahu series. It is going to be very focused on relationship. I think it's must-watch video. Go ahead, watch it. You are going to love that video. And there are 3 more parts that will be coming in this week, coming week only. By Saturday, all the videos will be uploaded. And I would love to hear your feedback, or if you want any other topic to touch apart from the regular series, house-wise, sign-wise, the planet and everything that I've started the classes. Let me know. I'll try my best to create the video. Thank you. Thank you for watching the video. Namaskar.